Hey everybody, and welcome to the End Channel video blog. And today what I want to do is a Klein versus Knipex combination pliers shootout. So let's get right into it and see the features that these tools offer. Now, before we actually compare them, I just want to actually compare the prices of the units, because that could be a huge deciding factor for you, for the quality for the price ratio. So first off, the Knipex pliers on Amazon.com are $32.29 Canadian, and they're manufactured in Germany. Now the Klein combination pliers are slightly more expensive, and they are $44.99 Canadian on Amazon.com, and they're manufactured in America. Now one thing I want to get right into is mechanical motion. Now as you can see, these guys, they move very nice. It's almost ridiculous how nice the movement is. The actual rivet that they're using to hold this piece together is really well machined and ground, and it's just perfectly fitted. It takes no effort to bring it back. Of course, if you overextend it and you got metal on metal contact, it's going to take a while to actually come back to that position where gravity takes over. But now if we compare that to the Klein, let's see how they hold up. So now we actually got the Klein in the vise, and as you can see, I got to use force to bring it down. And it's one of those features that does stand out in a negative way, because that just means that the actual connection here isn't as good as, let's just say, the Knipex, where this is really tight and you're going to have to wear it in. And I'd rather buy a tool that's ready to go instead of wearing it in. And if I actually compare this to my older models that I still use, I still have this problem, even after about a year and a half of use. So it's one of these things, they just don't have it as well as the German machining does. Now, probably one of the more important features is the actual leverage generated. Now, these are both high leverage pliers, which means they have a smaller rivet and it's closer to the cutting edge. And that's what's going to allow you to have more force behind your actual cutting and your pulling and any type of motion you're doing. But one of the biggest factors that decides how much more leverage each one has is the distance from the rivet to the end of the handle. So let's just take a quick look at that. So that's about 7 and a little bit, and this right here is just under 7. So right here you can see the Knipex has just got that little bit more leverage on it. Now if we actually look at the head here, they're very similar actually in comparison. Very well tapered off, very smooth. This one's a little bit wider, and it looks like it's got a longer cutting edge, so you can maybe cut off some longer stuff. But I mean, the actual profile of the tool, I mean, it's got the ability to hold both round and flat pieces of stock. But the Klein's got one feature which I love. It's got a crimping tool built into the handle. So what that means to me is it's going to actually have a little bit more function than the Knipex. Okay, now I have a couple of extra pliers in this scenario because I want to show off one feature that I think actually does translate a long way. What we have here is a pair of side cutters, both by the respective manufacturers. So if we look at these two tools again, just in comparison, you can see this is blue, this is red and blue. But now when we bring up the other ones, we got the exact same color coordination on the Knipex, and we have a different color coordination system on the actual Klein. Now the reason why I think that's a crucial feature is organization. When you have these in your tool bag and they're facing down, you can instantaneously look at them and say, red means side cutters. And it's a little feature that goes a long way. So I hope Knipex actually takes heed in this and actually says, okay, we can do that. Now if that is such a big deal, I mean, you can always use electrical tape and actually signify that that's different. But it's always nice when you don't have to do that. Now just continuing on, it also depends how you keep your bag organized. This is my work bag, and as you can see I leave all the tools facing up, so that way I'm not cutting into the pockets, but so the color coordination isn't as important in my setup, but it depends how you have your setup configured. Now just for overall grip, and just the actual comfort of the comfort grip, I gotta give it to Knipex. They actually just have like a softer feel to them, and I just feel like that's gonna really break down the stress that you put on your hand in everyday use. Along with the actual extra leverage, there's going to be less stress and probably going to be less problems with your wrist over excessive use. Now this is a feature that didn't stand out immediately. You can see right here we got a rivet. Big surprise. It's round, all that stuff. You flip it over, you don't. What you have here what looks like almost a rounded off Torx bolt. And what that is, it's going to make a stronger reference point and offer less distortion. So right there, that little feature probably means that this rivet is going to hold up a lot longer than, let's just say, your traditional three-piece rivet where it's just a cylindrical rivet. And in their newer designs, they actually start casting the rivets onto one of the handles. Now you have two pieces. And I feel like this is one of the steps that led up to that new design. So who won this in the shootout? The Knipex. And the reason why I'm saying that is the fact that they got that really nice smooth mechanical motion. The fact that it's a little bit higher leverage, which means there's going to be less distortion on your body, as well as things are going to be easier to cut. And the most important feature of this tool is the rivet. That rivet is going to make this product really enduring. And that, to me, sets it apart. This tool here is the extension of our hand in this trade, and anything to make that a little bit more enduring is well worth it. If you agree or disagree, don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for next week when we go into the needle nose plier shootout.